Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to get 100 times more introductions than you're currently getting using what we call a feed list on LinkedIn. Today we're going through an introductions masterclass. If you are anybody that is looking to get more introductions from your current clients, this video is going to be super relevant. My background's 5 years as a financial advisor, insurance agent, and if you're in that space, coach, consultant, mortgage broker, realtor, pretty much anybody, any business, any profession under the sun that is looking to meet more high quality prospects that already know how amazing they are, where they get referred to you, they already know, like, and trust you. This strategy is going to be an absolute game changer for your practice. So for most financial advisors and insurance agents, especially if you're at a big mutual insurance company like I was, these companies do not provide leads, right? So your typical starting point when you enroll as a new agent is to make a list of 200 friends, family that you know, mark them A, B, C based on how well you know them, and start calling them, getting meetings with them. They'll tell you, your managers or partners or directors will tell you it's not that important that those people transact, but you just want to get the word out there of what you're doing in your new career. Fine. All that is fine. We'll leave it at that for now. And as you run through that list, you'll always get to a point in time that every new agent and advisor faces, and probably the same as every other industry. If it's a similar model of prospecting, I can only speak personally what I did for the last 5 years. You run out of names, and now you start to panic every week, every month, every year. You need to get in front of more and more people. Otherwise, your business stalls, and you can live off the teeny bit of renewals if you're eligible for them from the people that you have already enrolled. So what do you do typically when you finish doing business with a new client? Do you take them through your entire planning process? I'll say what our planning process is typically an intro meeting. That meeting can be anywhere between 15 minutes and up to an hour. For me personally, I like a quick 15-minute meeting, high-level overview, who we are, what we do, learn a little bit about the client, outline next steps in terms of what the planning process looks like, outline all of the costs and fees that could potentially be associated with it, and make sure that we outline the next steps in the process that the client understands exactly what we're going to be going through. So you take someone through an intro call. In the financial advising insurance world, you take them through some kind of a goal discovery, fact finder, data gathering, whatever you call it. Take them through some kind of a strategy meeting, strat 1, potentially you have a strat 2 meeting where you want to get through basically all of the recommendations that you would have for that individual or family or business owner that you're meeting with. At the end of that, you would have some kind of implementation and review. And the last step for us is always a standalone introductions meeting. And when you get to that point in time for that standalone introductions meeting, now at this point in time, you have a new client, which is the most amazing thing in the world. And you should nurture that new client and service the heck out of them for the rest of your life. In another video, we'll talk about how all you need is one client to make your entire career. But in this video specifically, now that we framed it, we're going to dive deep into that intro section of the process. So you're all excited. You paid for some business. They became a client. And now, as they know that you teed up earlier in the process, one of the many ways you get paid is on introductions. And so how do you go about currently getting introductions? You might have the world's most amazing process in the world, and this will supplement it. You might have very little process, and all you really do is say, hey, thanks, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect. It's been so great meeting with you. I love working with good people. Who else do you know that I can get in front of, that I can have the same impact on you that I can do on them? And the prospect sits there, and it's like a big cartoon question mark comes above their head, and they're like, good question. Thank you. This has been great. I don't know. I can't think of anybody. Maybe you can call my friend Sarah, or call Matt, or I'm just really not sure. I'm sorry. I couldn't think of anybody. And that happens all day, every day for thousands and tens of thousands of agents out there. And so this is going to be the easiest solution in the world to solve that problem. So first thing I like to do is, assuming you have taken really good notes in the fact finder, you've taken really good notes in your goal discovery, when you've really gotten to know a client in that second meeting, typically for us, their guard is really down. First thing is, you want to make note of all of the people that they mention in their world and just pencil it down. And we're going to come back to it in this meeting later on in the process. So as you're asking somebody, hey, great, so I see you're based out of, let's just make it up, Memphis, Tennessee. You born and raised there? Did work take you there? We were originally from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and work had taken us here. Okay, awesome. When you grew up in Ann Arbor, tell me a little bit about that. How much of your life did you spend in Ann Arbor? Well, yeah, my family was there the entire time. When I had went off to school, I then got a job in Memphis. My brother and now his wife, they went off and they're now living in Palo Alto. Right there. I already got two names right there. Okay, awesome. And what's your brother's name? John Smith. And what's his wife's name? Sarah Smith. Okay, awesome. And tell me about it. So, how did you land on a neighborhood in Memphis, Tennessee? Did you randomly pick it? Was it a realtor that helped you? Did you have friends there that were already living down there in a community? Yeah, we actually had a lot of friends down here and they made it really easy. Awesome. What were those friends that you connected with? Mike, Bill, Sam, Tom, there was a whole group of them that was already living down there. They were actually my wife's people that were in my wife's sorority in school, for example, that we already knew them. Now we're getting more characters and more characters. And awesome. And you said you had used a realtor just to note it on file. What realtor did you end up going with down there? Sarah Smith. I'm going to keep saying the same stupid names. Makeup names. Julie. Amazing. And who does Julie work with? And what was your experience like with Julie? And this video is turning more into a video on how to do a fact finder than intros, but maybe we'll edit it out and combine the two. But any which way, as you can see what I'm doing, I'm going so deep on their personal world, and I'm just jotting down notes to myself of all the different characters in everybody's world that we come across, because all these are people that are really kind of their like first degree, network, so to speak, using some LinkedIn language. And so the most important thing is those are always going to be the absolute best ones, right? Anybody if you have a client and you can get the sister or the brother or the mother or a daughter or whatever it may be, or their immediate circle, those are always the best. So step one in being a master of introductions is doing your work in the fact finder, in the goal discovery, making note of everybody you come across, so on and so forth, every single piece of their life. You should probably leave that meeting with at least 5, 10, 20 names. So step one in that intro meeting is I want to bring all those names back front and center. Okay, awesome. Hey, super excited you're a client. I know last time when we went, we got it implemented, we got everything set up, and this meeting is strictly a standalone introductions meeting, and I'm really just going to pick your brain and so appreciative and so grateful that we have this opportunity where I can get in front of more people, that I can have the same impact on you. And just so you know, I can have an impact on anybody, but there are certain groups of people I can do my best work in. We'll come back to that in a minute later. So when you're meeting with somebody in that introductions meeting, let's bring all those names to the surface. Hey, I remember when we were meeting earlier on, you told me about Mark and Sam and Tom and how they were your wife's sorority, and you had this amazing realtor in Memphis and your brothers in Palo Alto. And I put all these names down, and I'd love to get in front of all these people. So what I would do is I'd literally share my screen and I put all those names on a single piece of paper right in front of them and just start getting contact info for each and every one of them. And I would tell your new client to drop their guard. We're not reaching out to anybody yet. We're just making a list of names. At the end of it, we'll go back and figure out the easiest way to get in touch with people. So step one, most important, is taking all that data throughout the planning process, throughout the fact finders, throughout the goal discovery, whatever industry you're in, and putting that list in front of them first. Second thing that you want to do, if we want to have some graphics here, second thing that you want to do is you want to then help your prospect start to think of people that they can introduce you to. I would say most people probably came to that meeting with a couple names that weren't on your goal discovery. They were like, you know what? I was at a barbecue the other day and one of my family friends was there and they happened to talk about an advisor. I think he's perfect for you. And maybe they came up with 1, 2, or 3 names. Amazing. That's like second best on top of that first list. The next thing you want to do is jog the prospect's memory as we start to play what we call some of these mind mapping, name mapping games just to get their brain going. So depending on who you're talking with, let's just assume we're talking to somebody who's a sports fan. And your client loves the Jets, is a suffering Jet fan like myself their entire life. And you're like, okay, Mr. Prospect, I got us 10 tickets, 50-yard line, dead center. It's me, you, and we're bringing 8 people. Who are we bringing? And now all of a sudden he's going to be like, oh my God, Jet fans, you want to bring this guy and that guy and this guy. Boom, boom, boom. Jot down, jot down, jot down. Don't worry about getting the contact info yet. Okay, awesome. That was great. And I know you are married a decade now, but if you were who was in the original wedding party for you and for your wife if you're meeting with a couple? Write down another 10, 20, 30 names. Okay, awesome, amazing. If you were happen to get married today, who would be in the party today that wasn't in the party 10 years ago? Maybe another 3 names come about. Amazing. Cool. And I want to play one more mind mapping game with you, especially let's say if they like restaurants or something. So we are going to a Michelin star restaurant. You get the point. I have a table for 10. Me and you are 2, or me, you, and your wife are 3. And we got 7 seats to fill. Who are we bringing? Da, 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 da. Now we're getting all these names. So if you are struggling to get names right here in 2 or 3 basic, simple mind mapping strategies, taking detailed notes, and simply just asking, at this point in time, you probably have a list of 20 or 30 names. Now, if you're somebody who's struggling to get intros, or you're typically only getting 1 or 2 at a time, we just 10x the amount of intros you're getting. I'll show you how to get the other 70 names, where you'll get 100 times more names for introductions than you're probably getting right now. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. So the next thing that I want us to talk about before we even go on LinkedIn and the power of that, and I'll show you a live demonstration of sharing my screen exactly what that looks like, is after you played some mind mapping, you take detailed notes. Third thing is, and this is the easiest one, is, hey, take out your phone and just scroll up and down in your messages. And who are some people that you've been texting with in the last couple days, last couple weeks, that we haven't even thought of just because our mind's all over the place right now? That one single thing right there, as much or more than anything, will help you get probably some of the highest quality introductions because they're already somebody they're talking to. It's like, hey, let me talk to Mark. If you're playing golf with Mark every weekend. Another example there. We're going golfing. I have Torrey Pines. I don't know golf, but whatever it is, TPC Sawgrass, the hole in the water on the 17th one. That's a great one. Who are we bringing on our 4-some, 8-some, 10-some, whatever the heck it may be. That mind mapping, name mapping strategy is absolute gold. Take out the phone. Who comes to mind? Again, all I'm doing is jotting names down on a Word doc. I'm not even worried about contact information yet. I'm just making a list of names. So at this point in time, I would bet just doing that, you'll probably have somewhere between 30 and 50 names. Now, I want to flip the screen, or I'll come in the corner here like we can do with some cool technology. And I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly how we use LinkedIn to get another 50, 100, 200 names and be shameless in putting the people in front of your prospect, because you're both going to have fun with it at this point in time. Okay, awesome. I'm going to demo this on LinkedIn. So go on LinkedIn. I am going to build this out in Sales Nav because that's what I use. Pretty good if you don't already pay for it. I'd like you to pay for it if you don't and get some affiliate money, but LinkedIn doesn't allow you to do that. So any which way, let's dive right in. So if you're using Sales Nav like me, come over to lead filters. Either way, this will be exactly the same. And the thing you're looking for is this connections of. And that's where you're going to want to put your client's name or your prospect's name of finding people that they know that they're connected with, that you want to be connected with because you want to make them a client of yours. So I'm going to punch in one of my favorite all-time and one of my original clients that I cold called 3, maybe even 4 or 5 times before he became a client. So Andy, if you're watching, you rock, and thank you. So connections of Andy. Andy's got 3,500 plus connections. Now you might be like, that's absurd. Where do I start? I don't even know what we're doing yet. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. It's super simple. So what you could also do is put in first degree connections. So that means they're your connection, right? You are directly connected with them, and they're also a connection of Andy, and there's 252 of those. Now you could make the argument that all 252 of those are like perfect people that you want to be connected with, and you could basically put all of those in front of your client and say, connect me with these people, but we don't have to be that crazy yet. So let's just take that out and let's build this out in real time. So whoever you want to connect with, whoever is your target audience, whoever is your perfect prospect that you want to talk to more of, that's what we're going to put in here right now. So Andy's in tech sales. I love working with tech salespeople. They've been historically some of my best clients and the most fun people to work with. I also love working with people that are my alumni that went to Michigan. It's so much fun for me to talk about Michigan all day, every day. So let's start building this out in real time. So I want to talk to people that are connected to Andy that also went to the University of Michigan. Now I brought it down from 3,500 to 578. On top of that, I do not want to talk to anybody that does what I technically do as a financial advisor. So I want to exclude financial advisor, and I want to exclude insurance agents for the gist of it. And he might not be connected to any other than me. I hope not. I hope I'm his only guy and he's got nobody else on there. But I do want to connect with people that are in sales, that are in business and development, and that potentially have an account exec title, unless that's covered in these two. But those are great people for me to connect with. Okay, awesome. So what do I got here? I got some founders and presidents, CEOs, presidents. Those are awesome titles. I don't think for this particular search I'm going to do that. VP software engineering. Perfect one that I want to talk to. And so all you're going to do is start to go through this because I did function, not job title. That's funny. Okay. And all you're going to do as you start to go through this is just read through like who you want, at least on paper, that it looks like you want to make a client. And so I'll go a little bit broader. 135, founder and president, CEO. I'm going to take those people out. But right here, Michael Wall, VP software engineering. That's a guy I like working with. I want to make a connection. So all you want to do right now for this particular feed list is just screenshot that with the picture. Now, there's some other ninja strategies I'll show you in a second in terms of using mutual connections, but all you're going to do is just start putting these guys in a Word doc here right in front of them. And we're going to end up putting this entire list. I'm going to do a handful of these just for the sake of an example, right in front of your prospect or your client now when you're meeting with him. So I'm just looking for like account exec, kind of tech salesy kind of guys right now. You can do this for anything. I imagine you get the gist of this, but let's just put like 5 of them here for the sake of an example. Okay, and you're just reading through like Director of Sales, Tony G, Michigan guy, 14 connections, soft serve. Yep, my kind of guy. Cool, Tony. I'm going to work to connect with you. And the reason that we're doing it like this is these are likely people that might not come to your prospect's mind, but they're people that he's connected with that share things in common with you that you want to be connected with. And all we're really trying to do is just make it easier for your client to help you. Because if you did a kick-ass job, and I'm sure you did, your client's going to want to help you. They just like sometimes can't think of stuff off the top of their head. So here's another guy, director of sales. Perfect. My kind of guy. Boom. And so on and so forth and so forth. Now, the couple things to note here is do not be shameless with the amount of names you put in front of somebody. Don't be like, oh, I put 5 or 10 or 20 and it feels like a lot. Put as many as you can find. And the language that you want to use with your prospect, your client, I keep saying prospect, is, hey, I took the liberty of just professionally trolling through your LinkedIn account, and I had my team put together a list of people that seemed like really awesome people for me to connect with. I have no idea if you know them, like them, hate them. They're a good guy, good girl, bad girl. But I'm just going to show you what I came up with. And together, let's go through and just kind of cross off people that are like an asshole because I don't like working with any of those people. Let's highlight the ones that you really don't know, but I can drop your name. And then let's just circle the ones that like you know that you can put me in a group text or an email with, and I can really drive some of this forward. So that's some of the language you're going to use. You're going to keep building out this list. I'll do one more just for the sake of it. Product sales specialist, product manager, strategic management. Like these 3 are like absolutely perfect. The best part is they're all Michigan alum. Some of these were recently hired. It says on here, that's a good opportunity too for a potential rollover. So like, look how many names I just put in front of him. I'm not even trying that hard. This whole thing will take you a maximum of 20 minutes. It'll arguably be the most valuable 20, 30 minutes you do in prepping for that list, prepping for that meeting with your client together. So now that we're building this list in real time, and again, I am not going to stop here. I'm going to go with this guy. I'm going to take this guy, and I would segment them by certain searches, but this one's perfect for me. Now, the next thing you can also do is you see how it has this mutual connections, shared education, shared groups. Like LinkedIn's really good at giving you more information. Let's just look at Tim North, Senior Account Executive. Me, Andy, and Tim essentially have 308 mutual connections. So as I'm looking through that list, I want to find other names of people that I know or is already my client. So when I'm meeting with my prospect, I can really start to nest in that person's community. So let's just say, for example, Larry S. was already my client, Ryan was my client, and Joe was my client. So now when I'm going to meet with that specific person, I can name drop all these people who I know are connected to me and Andy and also went to Michigan. So as this expands, it's going to multiply to the point where it's going to start to be crazy, because what you're going to end up ultimately doing is you're going to put this in front of them. Let's just say we were looking at this together and I had wrote down underneath it, just like, included in that 308 mutual connections was Tom, Jim, and Mike. And let's just say Tom, Jim, and Mike were already my clients. So when I'm meeting with my client now, so I'm meeting with Andy, I'm like, hey, Andy, I put together this whole list. Really awesome people I can connect with. Like, I'm really trying to niche down and work with tech sales guys, and I appreciate all your help in this. By the way, how well do you know Tim? He's gonna be like, oh, Tim's awesome. Like, I played golf with him last week. Oh, that's incredible. I know through our mutual connections, like Tim also knows Tom, Jim, and Mike. All three of those guys are a client, so Tim would be like a perfect fit for me. You see how this whole thing's going to start to snowball, because what you want to ultimately do is nest in certain communities. And the highest level, in my opinion, of gathering introductions is when you're nesting in a specific community. And I want to talk about that for a minute, and we'll wrap up this whole video. Okay, and now as you start to master getting introductions, the best thing in the world is you'll never have to worry about prospecting again. And I think that is the number one concern of people in sales, especially agents and advisors, right? When you have that worry go away, where you just know every week, every month, you're going to meet with enough people to write the business you want to write, to hit the income goals that you have, there's like a worry and a stress that goes away. That today's Sunday, and if you're like most people, like it's 2 o'clock when I'm filming this, as it gets later and later, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, anxiety goes up, stress goes up, because you're like, I have an empty calendar this week. This is going to solve that. So rewatch the video. If it can help, reach out. If we can help more, we got all sorts of ways to help you, and coaches and courses and software and all that good stuff. But really, to wrap up this whole video, at the highest level of gathering introductions is when your clients are talking about you in a room that you're not even in. When they start to talk about you and how amazing you are, and how they need to meet with you, and how like it's changed their life, and how they've made more money, and all that good stuff. And you start to get what's called unsolicited introductions without you even asking. Your phone just rings, or you text, or you wake up to an email and text of being like, hey, John, meet Mike. He's a colleague of mine. I know you're working with a bunch of us. He'd love to meet with you. Game is over. Your business will skyrocket. Your income will absolutely explode. And I've seen that in numerous examples. When I worked with a coach of mine at my old firm, he had like the entire firm. I mean, there probably was 50 plus people of him as clients. So they would just talk like, oh, what do you have coming up? Oh, I have such and such at 2 o'clock. Oh, okay. I had him earlier today. And then when you're not there, and if you're in a room at lunch, people are like, oh, who's that? Should I be working? It's like, oh, he's amazing. Reach out. Let me connect you. And that's the best thing that can possibly happen. So I had done a really good job of this on a small scale with a group of guys that were account execs in tech sales down in Austin. I ended up going down and taking everyone out for dinner, and we had a ton of fun. But basically, like, one of them introduced me to his friend, and then his friend had a roommate, and I was with his friend. And now they were all going out on the weekends. And then there was another buddy, and they were like, oh, how are you not working with Jordan? You got to meet Jordan. And so when you can get your clients to talk about you, obviously positively, and you're not even in the room, not even in the state, and they're saying all these good things about you, that is when you're winning and mastering introductions at the highest level. And it's something I like to call nesting in certain communities. So figure out, as you start general and you start to niche down, figure out what those communities are, and then do your best to service the heck out of clients, give them an experience that'll last a lifetime, not just be their advisor or agent, but actually give them an experience. Because in terms of our prospects' mind, everybody does the same thing, even though we know everything's a little bit different. And there's some agents that are amazing and some that are horrible. But from their perspective, it's like, I have an advisor, they're all the same. Different video, different topic. And what you want to do is, let's just say one guy's your client and he's in tech sales at Broadcom. Okay, well, he's got other colleagues on the desk at Broadcom. You want to make sure you get the entire department of tech sales guys at Broadcom, 20 of them, that's your client. Right after like 3, 4, or 5 of them, there'll be like a tipping point where they all start to talk about you and refer you, and then you can really do all sorts of fun things. But that is the ultimate goal of going from like cold prospecting to warm prospecting to intros to unsolicited intros to nesting in certain communities, where you start to have so many people that when you get in an intro meeting and you're like, hey, who can we help? Or I put this feed list together, it's like, okay, so I know I'm working with you, Tom, Jason, Mike, and Sam. And who else is at your desk that I'm not working with? At a certain point in time, you'll end up getting the whole group of people. So hopefully this whole video was really amazing in helping you get more introductions, which is the lifeblood of the entire business. And it solves prospecting, and all your worries go away, and you get to meet with better prospects and more prospects and higher quality ones. And the sale becomes easier, and life becomes so much more fun. I mean, for me personally, when I first started making tens of thousands of cold calls to make anybody a client, toward the end, when I was getting introductions where I would basically enroll somebody at a very high rate very quickly, my hourly rate was probably 10 times higher than an attorney or a doctor at that point in time. It was 3, 4, 5 years of hard work work that went in before that. So hope you found this video super helpful. If you need any help at all, reach out. There's probably links down below. At this point in time, if you're watching a video in 2025 and it was beneficial, you should already know to like it or subscribe to it or just watch more of it so the algorithms know to show our content to more people. Hope this was wildly helpful. Look forward to working with you and helping you continue to grow your business. Hey, bonus video on getting introductions and really, really high quality introductions from clients. So throughout the process, you'll probably meet with your client somewhere between 3 to 5 times throughout the course of the sales process. What you want to do is very casually, one, you really want to get to know your client because it's more fun and you can serve them at the highest level and you can plan really cool experiences for them. For example, I had met 2 clients in Atlantic City at a concert. I didn't even attend the concert. I drove the 3 hours. We hung out. We gambled. We went for dinner. We had nice drinks. We hung out. I really got to know them personally. That, as a new agent or experienced agent, is one of the best things you can do. And don't even ever talk about business in that meeting. Just really get to know them, hang out. You think they're awesome. They think you're awesome. You're going to do business together. Save the business for Zoom a week or 2 weeks later. But what you really want to do is during the process is figure out what they like, right? So if you can give someone an introduction or give them a gift and it's something that they like, it's super meaningful. If you give somebody a gift that they don't like, it kind of doesn't even land at all. So perfect example for this. I love tennis, love the US Open, tennis US Open, hate golf, don't ever want to go to golf. You can give me a backstage pass to golf. You can have me on the green and I wouldn't even go. So if somebody gave me a gift as like a thank you for being a client or a thank you for giving them an introductions, and they got me tickets to Bethpage Black, which is like one of the most popular, famous events on Long Island here, I wouldn't even want to go. I would take it. I'd be like, thank you. And I would give it to somebody else and I wouldn't even think twice about it. On the flip side, if you got me tickets to US Open, Arthur Ashe, night session, quarterfinals, and it was like a top match, I am like the happiest person in the world. I'm going to tell everybody about you. I couldn't be more grateful. I'm going to want to do more business with you. I'm going to want to give you more money because you gave me the most like amazing gift ever. So it doesn't have to be that extreme with your clients, but it could be something as simple as their favorite type of alcohol. So if you know you're going through the planning process and even you're just talking, shooting the shit in the beginning with somebody, hey, what'd you do this weekend? What do you guys got going on? Oh, I went to a barbecue. What'd you guys eat? What'd you guys cook? Oh, we had the most amazing hamburgers. We had drinks. Oh, what do you typically like to drink? Oh, they serve Corona, but my favorite is X, Y, and Z, or they only had white wine, but really my favorite's Johnny Walker Blue. That's like my go-to. It's a treat. I don't have it that often, blah, blah, blah. You want to get intros from somebody. You want to thank them for being a client, whether they're in your state or not. Obviously, stay under the compliance limits if you're subject to that. Send your client a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue, for example, without him knowing, without him asking, without you even telling him. But when you are teeing up that introductions meeting, tell him, hey, listen, I know we're going to meet on Tuesday. I got something coming your way. Keep a lookout for a package. I think it's something you'll really like. Don't even say what it is or whatnot. He's going to text. He's going to call you the minute that comes in. He'll be like, did you send me this? That was so nice. I can't believe you did that. How did you remember? Blah, blah, blah. Now say, awesome, man. Have that out when we do our introductions meeting next Tuesday night. Bring out that bottle. I'll open up a bottle of wine myself. We'll have kind of a virtual drink. We'll shoot the shit. We'll catch up. You'll help me with some intros and we'll have a lot more fun. We'll meet a lot more cool people. I'll get to know more people in your circle. That way, next time I do come out to XYZ location, I can take all of you guys out for dinner. We can do some really cool experiences. That person is going to be 100 times more likely to give you every name and number of people he knows because you just gave him like the world's best experience. You served him at the highest level. You remembered exactly what he liked. You didn't say anything of it. You just sent it. You were casual about it. You were subtle about it. You were professional. So little stuff like that will transform your practice to levels you can't even imagine. They will get you into circles with better and better people where you'll write higher and higher case sizes or manage bigger and bigger cases of money. So I highly recommend implementing little things like that into your practice. You do that consistently over the course of 3, 5, 10, 20 years. It's impossible. You're not a multi-million dollar producer. So I hope you enjoyed that little tip and trick there. Tip and trick, like, subscribe, click, follow, whatever it is on any of these platforms. I don't have a clue. This is all brand new to me.